So if you know who Media Matters is that watchdog of the right. Unfortunately, David Brock has been running. David Brock, if you don't know who he is, he's a horrible person who he smeared Anita Hill during the Clarence Thomas hearings, and then he switched when the Clintons became more powerful. He always wanted to be in bed with power, so he jumped ships, and he's now he's a liberal, but he's not. He's a power lover. So. And he runs Media Matters. This guy, Peter Daou, works for Media Matters. And I'm going to show you a tweet of his. You think that we like to make fun of the right wing for all the dumb things they have to say to defend, like Donald Trump and George Bush and Sarah Palin and all this and all their crazy, they're science deniers, all the stuff that we make fun of them for them being obvious deniers of reality and having to do mental gymnastics. Well, now the left is doing it because of Hillary Clinton. I've never seen anything like this before. Now, I just wanted to clarify, Hillary Clinton hasn't given a press conference in over 260 some days. That's a long time for the person who wants to run the free world not to answer questions unrehearsed from the press. That's a long time. And that's a dangerous precedent to be setting, by the way, for the Democrat to be afraid of talking to the press. So what happens when the Republican does it? And now they go, well, the Democrat, do you see what I'm saying? So here's what Peter Daou says, because a lot of people are calling now for Hillary to give press conference. A lot of people in the press. And Peter Daou says, make no mistake. Now, he's from Media Matters. He says, make no mistake, the media's obsession with forcing a Hillary press conference is all about her gender. So that's the kind of thing that hurts feminism. That's when you say, Steph, you're a woman, wouldn't you say that that's the kind of thing that hurts feminism, that doesn't help feminism? Because now when someone is being sexist to Hillary, now they're going to go, well, you say everything's sexist. You say us calling for her to have a press conference is sexist. So now if everything's sexism, nothing is sexism, and you hurt your own cause.
First, Jimmy.
Dummies like this, or I'm sorry, geniuses like this. I don't want to call anybody name. Very smarties pants guys. I'm sure he has higher ACT score or SAT score than me, this guy. But it's just, what's more important than intelligence in life is courage. No matter what. Courage trumps intelligence. Courage trumps everything. You have to have courage to do the right thing and tell the truth. This is a tool. This is a shill. This is a guy who doesn't have a real opinion. This is a guy who he has to look who's signing his check to know what he thinks. That's what this is.
Nice.
Well, Jimmy, first, thank you for recognizing that I am a woman.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that. And is all about her gender.
Her gender.
I think it's all about her agenda. We don't know what it is. And she's not coming out and speaking about it, other than I just keep getting all these horrible people that are endorsing her that only makes me think she's not representing me. She's not coming out and representing me or the things that I'm against. I'm an environmentalist, I guess, and I don't think she is. I'm with the other her, Jimmy.
I'm with the other her, too. I'm with the other her. Does that make me sexist? Am I sexist if I support Jill Stein over Hillary? I think so. Here's some future, we put together some future tweets of this guy. Future Peter Daou tweet, demanding money out of politics is white male patriarchy keeping women down. Future Daou tweet, nobody complained about bombing Syria when a man was doing it. Future Daou tweet, Hillary's fracking drill baby drill policies intimidate men's need for sexual dominance. Here's a future Peter Daou tweet. Jill Stein's presidential challenge to Hillary is misogynistic bullying.
Oh.
Here's another future tweet of his. The anti-war protests against Hillary is nothing but white male privilege.
Yes.
Selling arms to repressive tyrannies is a feminist act men cannot fully understand. It takes a strong woman to flip-flop on corporate tax cuts. Future Dow tweet. That's a future tweet. Takes a strong woman to do that, like a man would. Peter Dow's lame defense is as effective as Hillary telling Wall Street, hey, cut it out. Boy, 270 Days of Sexism. That's the new Pasolini movie. I don't know who Pasolini is, but the guy who wrote this joke for me did. Is it sexism to hope that Peter Daou gets paid 21% less than the other Hillary Shills? Is that sexist of me? Hillary answering questions would merely be a sexist objectification of her accountability. These are all good jokes.
I love them.
You know, dismissing criticism of Hillary as sexism is starting to sound a little sexist. I'll be honest. If this is the preview of the kind of rationalizations the left will do throughout Hillary's presidency, it's going to be a mind rape culture. Get used to that. It takes a strong male like Peter Daou to defile feminism in such an obscene way, doesn't it? Peter Daou, former advisor to Hillary Clinton. Let's hope so. Here's how he defended that, by the way. So somebody tweeted to him, said, hey, or maybe it's because it's been almost a year since he had one. Is that so crazy? He says it's more important than Trump's taxes or Trump calling President of the United States a terrorist. If not, that's called a double stand. You can be for both things. You can be for Trump releasing his tax records and for the next president of the United States to have a fucking press conference, you fucking jag-off shill. You do nothing but hurt the left. You're why I don't want to call myself a liberal, because of guys like you who are obvious liars, you don't have any center. You have zero integrity, none. You're a joke. You make the left a joke. You make sexism a joke. You make feminism a joke. You can support Hillary Clinton, but you can't do it honestly. So you do it dishonestly. You do it just as dishonestly as the people who supported Sarah Palin and George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan's tax cuts. You're just as dishonest as they are. You're no better. You work for David Brock, who's a horrible human being. And this is gross. And by the way, before this video even hits, he's already blocked me on Twitter. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Making friends, Jimmy. Always.
Making friends. This guy hurts us, Ron. This guy hurts the left. He hurts progressive causes. This is not who we are. We're not idiots. We're not chumps. We don't cry sexism when it isn't. Here's Chris Cillizza. He said, hey, it's been 263 days since Hillary Clinton had a press conference. That's dangerous precedent. And Peter Daou retweeted somebody's response to that, and his response was, Trump not releasing his tax returns, no problem though. That's not how we're supposed to act as lefties. That's not how we're supposed to act, you disingenuous coward. That's a coward.
So it's one or the other. Either Trump releases his taxes or...
If Trump releases his taxes, can we have a press...
Can she have a press conference?
So we can't have a press conference. I don't get to hear what the next president of the United States has to say at a press conference because Trump? And Peter Daou retweets that. Like the integrity-challenged paid shill that he is.
Yeah, and I think something else we got to mention is just what a missed opportunity Media Matters is right now. I mean, that started out as a response to Outfox as an attempted true media watchdog, which we need in this country.
We needed
desperately.
They still do good work, Media Matters.
They do some good work, yeah, but they're kind of missing the mark on
this
some of
is
stuff.
it.
And when
this
you have
is,
insiders like him that have a conflict of interest, that's really spoiling what they're supposed to be about.
Listen,
and that's a problem.
And I'm not saying I want to sit through one of Hillary Clinton's press conferences. You know, it's like I don't want to hear what she has to say. I think I've already heard it. But the fact of the matter that she doesn't have a point of view or she doesn't have a perspective on all the things that are happening right now, that she doesn't seem to care. When is she going to speak to the American public?
She's not.
Are we going to have to wait till, September 30th, whenever that first debate's going to be?
She's not, but that's a debate. That's still not a press conference.
Exactly.
There's rules. There's time. There's all these kind of constraints. That's a debate. That's not a press conference. There's a lot to be said for the next person who wants to run the free world being able to think on their feet and handle questions from reporters. There's a lot to that. Here's Peter Daou. You think it couldn't get more pathetic? Watch this. Watch this. So far, not a single critic of my tweet about gender bias against Hillary has read my words precisely. Boy, that's the way you want to be when you're a writer. You want to be easily misinterpreted. When I'm making broad proclamations about gender and bias and sexism, I try to be as confusing and as gray and murky as possible. I want people to have to parse what I'm saying. You want to see, there's a real thing called sexism in the media. You fucking joke of a person. Here's someone, she's got a blue check by her name, so she knows she's important. Here's real sexism. She saw a piece where they were talking about Uma and John Weiner, or no, what's his name? Anthony Weiner. And I'll read it to you. If you can't see this, I'll read it to you. It says, the day after these revelations, Weiner, you know who Anthony Weiner with the penis, can't stop tweeting pictures of his own. Weiner isn't just facing questions about his political career. He's facing questions about his parenting skills. And for the third time, his questionable decisions are ensnaring his wife, one of Hillary Clinton's top aides, by raising questions about her decisions to leave their son alone with her husband while she's on the campaign trail. And this Robin Marty accurately points out, this is a good catch by her. She says, imagine this being written if Weiner were a woman and Abbott and a man. You can't imagine someone saying that about a man who's in politics saying, oh my God, he leaves his kid home with his wife while he's out working. That's what they just said. So that's actual sexism. Did I explain this correctly? Because you're both looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, we know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
It's just so troubling,
you're
the whole
absolutely
dynamic
right.
of the situation.
Yeah, can you believe, I don't know where that came from.
Right.
But she has a blue check from her name, so she's probably in the media, so she's probably a reporter. I didn't do any of this. All I saw was this. And I'm like, yeah, that would be real sexism. That's horrible. That's where we could all go, ugh. But you know what? When that happens, now it's diminished. The horribleness of that is diminished. Why is it diminished? Because of this, you knucklehead. Because of that. Because of that. Because of that.
What words were people not reading precisely?
What words?
There's only 140 characters there, Peter, and there wasn't a lot of depth. I think we know what you were trying to say.
I'm not reading it precise enough.
I don't know. I got confused on the make no mistake.
Make no mistake. I guess people made mistakes. And turns out people still made mistakes, even though he started his tweet off with it.
Is it we can never make a mistake, or eventually do we get a pass?
I don't know. Hopefully these mistakes. I'm making a mistake right now, according to him.
I got to be more precise.
We're all mistaken. Chris Celiz is mistaken. I'm mistaken. You're mistaken. The whole world is mistaken because the only reason we want Hillary to do a press conference is because of her gender. I want to hear what her vagina has to say.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to wait till the debates. I don't care what she thinks about the Yankees or her favorite Bible verse. I want an actual press conference.
Right, an actual press conference. Okay, Peter Daou, getting it done. Getting it done, embarrassing the left like nobody's business. Hey, I wish you would just go to the right already. You're in bed with a neoliberal, which is basically a neocon anyway. Would you just go be a Republican so we don't have to apologize for people like you anymore?